Hey everybody, this is Coach Patrick with Shimeru Judo and Jiu Jitsu Club. In this video, I wanted to answer one of the biggest questions I get all the time, which is how do I approach the sport to get better faster? It's a very good question, and some of the answers may or may not be surprising to you. One good thing that I always find is it's really smart to have small daily goals. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean that you're going to come in and you're like, today I'm just going to be the best at passing guard, although as you move up levels that may be the case. Maybe what you want to do is just be able to get into the position to pass a guard, or on the other side you want to be able to just move your hips back and create space so that you can recover your guard. Whatever it happens to be, you will find that if you take each day or maybe each week and just work on collecting skills, those skills will be in your toolbox and it'll help your jiu-jitsu scale much, much faster. Second thing, it is perfectly okay to take notes and even to record instruction. You can always ask during the class, but for me, I don't see any scenario where I would say, no, I don't want you to. You're welcome to have a jiu-jitsu journal or a notebook or whatever you want right on the mat during instruction, take notes. On the other side of that, maybe it's not instruction. Maybe you were sparring and you did something that you didn't learn anywhere, but it worked and you found something cool. Write it down. Feel free to jump off the mat, take notes. Say I did this from this position, etc. And then what I would recommend is try to get back to that position. Try to do it again. If you can repeat it, you have something. Okay. Next one, I highly recommend to, especially when you're starting, take it slow, fight controlled. A lot of new people want to fight with what I call blind rage. The trouble with the blind rage is you have no real memory of what happened. You're going to go crazy. It's probably going to lead to you getting beat up worse and faster, and you didn't learn anything. While you were freaking out, everything that the other person did to you, you completely missed. On the other hand, if you stick to some of the techniques that you've learned and try to work intelligently through a position at a slower pace, well, you will get countered. They will pass anyway. They will roll you over. They will do all those things, and that's okay because it's all going into the memory bank. It all lends to your experience, and then you are learning an intelligent response faster, and that'll again scale for your jiu-jitsu and help you as you continue to move along the journey. In the same vein, I highly recommend some of the guys who come in and you're very big and you're very strong. I always recommend to you to not fight like you're big and strong. What ends up happening is you use muscle and athleticism rather than technique. And that works sometimes in the gym, especially against smaller people or whatever. However, if you go to use that in the gym, in a competition or maybe even in a street fight or whatever, well, now these people can be the same size as you. And if you were relying on your strength, you don't have the technique to back it up now that the person is of equal athleticism. So try to minimize the usage of strength and maximize the usage of technique. Next one, learn what you're taught and try to use what you're taught. Okay, so when we go through class, you do get people from time to time who get frustrated because they don't know how to do one thing or another. Okay, but we have gone through the instruction. So if you don't take that away and try to implement it into your game, then you're not able to collect that skill. Now, not every single skill feels very native for people who are trying to use it for the first time, second time, 10th time, whatever. That's okay. You don't have to use everything, but you do want to try it because you may find that, oh, that solves this problem I was having, or it gets me out of this bad position or whatever it is. And if you're not using it during your sparring sessions, then you don't have any real experience to back it up. You haven't seen how it's going to work when it's kind of battle tested. So try to use stuff. It'll make it easier to remember, easier to fix and understand where the little nuances are that are going to make it go from not working at all to being able to work on whoever it is that you're trying to use it against. The next one, another big one. For the first year or maybe even till your blue belt, you should really stay off of YouTube and Instagram as it relates to technique videos. There's a lot of great stuff out there, and there's a lot of complete idiocy. And the trouble is, as a person inexperienced and new to the sport, you don't know which is which. So you can always bring something in and go, hey coach, what do you think about this? And I'll go, hey, that's fantastic. That coach is solid. You can use whatever he tells you. Or me going, that guy's absolutely insane. Don't do that. I've had multiple instances where I've told people don't use that technique, and they try it in a competition and just get buried. Very avoidable mistake. A lot of it too can be about injury prevention. Some of the stuff out there is insane that people are saying you can use, and I've seen some of that come in here and kind of, you know, get somebody tweaked. And again, the biggest thing we want to avoid is getting hurt, getting injured. All of that leads to time off the mat and stands in the way of you and your jiu-jitsu goals. So stay off YouTube and Instagram, and if you just happen to see something and you want to know if it's legit, come in and ask, and I'll tell you if it's worthy or whether it's garbage. Next one, do your best once you get integrated into sparring to not skip any rounds. Okay, you are not always going to be fresh as a flower. Okay, you need to learn the skill of sparring when you're tired. Most of the time that'll slow you down, and it'll force you to have good technique in the most difficult situations. So it is good to obviously train when you're fresh. Everybody's good when they're fresh, but once you've burned out your muscles, once you've depleted, you know, all your energy, let's see how you do then. You will find that doing that is going to increase your skill set faster than when you come in your first couple rounds and you're able to rely on athleticism. Once that stuff's out the window, let's see if your jiu-jitsu technique is still going to work. And then probably, you know, one of the biggest things I can recommend is seek out your weaknesses, okay? Find out what you're getting tapped with, what bad positions you're ending up in, what submissions are you really not able to do very well. Those are all gaps in your game, so you should attack them, okay? So ask a partner, hey, can you start from side control on top, or can you start from the mount? Can you take my back? Can you do whatever it is, whatever scenario you need to use, and you can use that to drill it, and then you can use that to spar and try to work through those things. If you can identify your weaknesses and then have a regimented approach to trying to improve them, you will very quickly bring like the floor of your game up to a very strong level, and then really raise your ceiling over time. This is not an exhaustive list, but these are some of the things that we talk about in terms of getting better at jiu-jitsu. Everybody wants to get better faster. There's nothing wrong with that. You should try to get better faster. Try to stick to these things. They'll very much help you out. And then the last thing I would say is don't be too hard on yourself. It's sometimes it's easy, like if you come in and you're in your late 30s, early 40s, and here comes a young wrestler and he's taking you down and he's in trial week and you've been here for a year, and what the heck. It doesn't matter. Like, there's always going to be mismatches like that, but what's important is how much better are you today than the person who walked through the door for their trial week. And I think you'll find in all cases that that's a very favorable matchup. So primarily we're going against ourselves, trying to be the best version of us that we can be. And so stick to these things. They'll certainly help you get better than you would have been otherwise at a faster pace. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can always ask me anything on the mat. Call me, text me, email me, whatever. Happy to help. Hope to see you guys on the mat real soon. Thanks.